All right, guys. Outlast 2 demo just came out. Rob, you had a chance to play it. Do you love horror games a lot? I'm not sure that I ever see you playing them.
No, I mean, yeah, back and forth, I guess.
Did you see that gif of Rob reacting to the Resident Evil 7 demo? Because that was fantastic.
And I heard you had a similar experience with Outlast 2.
Yeah.
All right, so describe this demo. I understand it's pretty short. And this is coming from a game that was supposed to come out this year, but was delayed until 2017, a little while ago. What was it that you actually played? What was available?
It just kind of kicked off, and you're just, man, it's funny to have played recently that Resident Evil demo, because they remind me very much of the same thing, where it's like a very much on, and maybe even more so this one, it felt very much on rails, except for certain areas. But anyways, you're just this guy, immediately your glasses fall off, you trip. I think you were in a plane crash or something like that, and you were on a clearly bizarre farm where there's some mentally ill people who like to kill people.
Get out.
Get out. Immediately, you're just kind of introduced to them, and you are going through areas. Yeah, again, I haven't really seen any of the videos or that demo, so this was fresh for me. But you go into an area, and it's like super dark, where it's a bed or a barn cradle-looking bed, and there's a lot of blood there. You go, oh, this is where a baby might be. And there's blood. Not a good sign. You turn the corner, and there's a pit of dead children. So that was surprising. I don't know. In general, I could see where maybe it got delayed in that, like, I don't know if I got a good understanding of the game.
Okay.
In that, if it was on rail, like the first half of it was like super on rails. Like you just are
linear.
Linear, excuse me. Yeah. And you're literally being directed the entire time. So you like turn a corner, there's a guy there with an axe. It's like, oh, I shouldn't go that way. Turn a corner or something like that. That just felt a little old. And I don't know. The moments I prefer for my horror games sometimes is just like me having direct control of my circumstance. Like there's this part where you hit the cornfields, which is actually pretty cool. There's a bunch of people with flashlights, and you're just like, turning your infrared camera off and on, and you're just like avoiding them. That's pretty neat. I mean, that's me controlling my outcome. Those were more of the tense moments that I wish there were more of, I guess I could say.
Yeah, when it gets more open-ended like that, it's a lot less predictable. You feel like you have a little bit more control over your destiny, so when something does go wrong, it's kind of your own fault. It's not just a jump scare at that point.
Right. And I can say that I do get affected by jump scares, and this one definitely got me. There's this scene in a hallway. You like go through a memory. It's a bizarre game. Like there's like you like trip out. I don't even understand.
Yeah. So I actually played the same demo at PAX, and I think it's a bit of an older demo that's now publicly available. But yeah, it's like there's no real explanation for how this happens. But basically, one moment you're on a farm, then you kind of crawl through a hole or fall down a hole, and all of a sudden you're like in an elementary school.
That's never happened to you in real life?
Kind of out of nowhere. Not recently.
Oh, okay.
And then, you're kind of making your way through the halls of elementary school and like looking through lockers, and you'll see like flashes of silhouettes in classrooms, and you kind of feel like there's something near you or behind you, but you can never actually pin it down.
And a copy of a Call of Duty game. I remember this.
And then eventually you leave the school somehow. I can't remember how you get out of the school. I think you're like pulled through the ceiling by something.
You were literally ripped out of your own memory. So I guess the idea is that you were just like, I would imagine like tripping out.
Something. And then you end up back on the farm. But I don't know. I kind of like games that will mess with, it's not fourth wall breaking, but we're very much toying with the medium in a way. It's like, well, this couldn't happen in reality, but all we have to do in a game is like when you walk into the next room, it's suddenly a totally different environment. It's so easy to execute, but so unsettling for you as a player. Like I appreciate games that are willing to sort of mess with your head like that and use that to throw you off and keep you creeped out. That to me is a cool approach in horror games. I really like when games do that well. So if nothing else, this particular demo had a great sense of atmosphere, although I agree that mechanically I was also feeling a little bit lost.
Yeah, like I could have used more dead ends, just
dead ends,
opening a door, like, going around like, oh, wait, I can't open this door. God damn it. Like, oh, I can't open this door, but clearly this is the only door that like I can open that I can go through. So this is this is where I'm supposed to go. And I think that just got a little tired, and I wanted more of like an exploration value, because that's how like I don't know, whenever I think of horror movies, that's how it kind of always is. It's just someone alone, lost, searching, like,
Yeah.
and you're being chased.
There's no sign telling them to go one way or another, or yeah. I
Right.
mean, they basically have to figure what the hell to do.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that, but I think there could be more of a right reason. Like
Sure.
when this like the first like minutes or few minutes of that game, it's just one path. Like here's a fence, here's a bunch of shit in the middle of the road that you can't get through. Like that, just like it's like all right, well I'll just
You feel like
hold my hand. Where am I going?
Yeah. Well,
I don't know.
talk to me about the battery, because I understand you have to collect, power for your camera. You can use the infrared light. Did you find that in this demo that actually like had a meaningful part of your experience? No,
No, my battery's never. I mean,
my battery ran out when I got to the field, so I was
shit.
like, yeah.
Okay.
But I actually found one lying in the middle of the cornfield for some reason, which is an odd place for a
Hey,
battery.
video games, man.
they're also double A's.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I'm not sure what
I
your
don't know
camera
what they
takes, but it happened to be the exact battery my camera needed, so it worked out. But
Yeah, I don't know. I think I also was like rushing it, but that's kind of how I feel like a horror game should. You know what I mean? Like you're not like, oh, I'm gonna explore
Yeah.
while I'm being chased. Like there's reasons for that that I felt like were untouched, more or less. I don't know.
Also, having played Resident Evil 7 in VR,
Yeah.
is this the sort of experience that you imagine might also translate well? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Although, with that in mind, in the Resident 7, did they have like a camcorder or anything that they were like using?
No, not that I recall.
Never mind. I don't know.
yeah, the camera's just on your own.
Yeah.
I think this totally would work. Those two are very similar. Yeah. I could totally see VR being great for this.
I'm sure if it was on PlayStation VR, they could just use the controller as to mimic a camera. You just hold it up.
That's what I'm getting at. It's like how
How do you account for
put
everything?
on another
right?
VR. Yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it for the most part. I don't know. I wonder like why that was delayed, because this kind of left me like questioned like what is this level design structure of this? Like
Yeah.
it felt kind of like off. Like
Well, it's one thing to consider like the legacy of the last game, which was kind of a surprise success. It sounded like for Red Barrels, the developer, they were almost taken aback by it, and so that spurred them to continue to make the series. You got to imagine that they really want to nail it. Otherwise, they stand to maybe lose all of that goodwill that they've earned. So this demo might be just a good way for them to just sort of put something out there for people who are expecting the game but won't get it until next year.
right.
Yeah.
And that's definitely what I think the takeaway is like, enjoy it for what it is. Get hyped. Also, the ending was a little weird. Do you know the ending?
I don't know the ending. Do I want to know? Should we? Is it spoilers?
I mean, it's a demo.
It's a demo.
So not really.
Hit me. What happens?
You run into one of the fantastic farmers, and he takes an axe to your crotch.
My crotch.
Yep.
Specifically. You were in the game.
So
Peter.
that in VR would be super fun.
Gosh.
Yeah.
John Luke would be into that. We were discussing this yesterday. He always shoots for the crotch, that guy.
Oh my god.
All right. It's a lot more about Jean-Luc than we really wanted to know.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. That's the Outlast 2 demo. Did you guys get a chance to play it? Let us know in the comments below. And are you still looking forward to the game despite its linearity?